let's dive into it. All right, so I updated my Visual Studio. Now, what am I talking about? I updated my Android Studio, and turns out that the Material UI theme is like not supported with this version, so I had to like pick a different one. But this one is also okay. All right, so we are going to start by reverting everything because we messed it up. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the Gradle file, get rid of the Google DevTools KSP here. I don't think we did more. Let's see. We got the Kotlin Faker. We are still going to use the Kotlin Faker. Everything else looks okay. Yeah. Let's try. Okay, this was the... This looks okay. Let's try to get out of this. As I can see, the error is plugin ID com Android application was not found. Is it this one? Ah, that's weird. All right, let's actually go and open the repo. So GitHub, Nicola Flazar, goodbye money, Jetpack, compose. Let's check out what we had in the file before we mess it up. Okay, we got these two, which we can see here, and this is the module Gradle. We scroll down, we have the swipe. There's a swipe. We also got the Kotlin Faker, but we did that last stream. And then we have these, which are pretty much the same as we have locally. So only the Kotlin Faker is different. All right, so I'm just gonna grab this. Hold on. Key binding. I think my also key bindings have changed. Key map. VS Code. That looks okay. All right, yeah. Not sure why Command Shift Up doesn't work, but yeah, let's do it this way then. All right, I'm gonna leave the Kotlin Faker. I'm gonna paste the older implementation, or like the older contents, and I'm gonna put the Kotlin Faker. And we still get that. Build Gradle. Command root application was not found in any of the following sources, and it's this one. That's weird. Let me go back and open this build Gradle to see. Oh, okay, there we go. We got these plugins. That's the, yeah. We have removed these, and we shouldn't have done that. There we go. Oh, I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna... Cool. Okay, we got it working. It's all good now. That means we can start implementing this. we didn't find a solution of how to automatically populate these. So maybe what we should do, all right, there we go. We got the up running. That's pretty much what we needed to do. So let's see. Instead of doing it like this, maybe I should be doing it like this. Is this allowed? No, it's not allowed. Nope. All right, let's check that out in Kotlin. Populate lists with repeat. Let's see, because we don't have the we don't have the ability to create like immediately invoked functions in Kotlin. We can do something like this again, I guess. As of Kotlin 1.1, we can use the lists function to create a read-only list with the specified size. Okay. Initialize each element with the given init function, which takes the element position as the input. Awesome. All right, so that means we can do this is going to be a list of expense. Lists. We're going to pass like 30. And I can then get the index and actually paste this line of code that just returns the mocked expense without the repeat, without everything. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so we got the index. Nice. These are our mock expenses. Yeah. These are our mock expenses, and I believe we can use these to feed our lists. All right, let's try it out. So this is the expenses list. I'm going to just like accept the, I'm just gonna accept the expenses as an argument. So I also want to go to the, where's the file? Expenses.ts. Okay, so we have the row which holds the $, which is like this $sign right here, and we also have the sum total. This has a vertical padding of 32 pixels, which means our list would start somewhere around here. So it is safe to render expenses list and pass the mock expenses. Nice, there we go. Okay, so we got the expenses. Let me boot up Figma so we can see the UI. There's the UI. So in that list, hey Caliban, how's it going? In this list, hold on, let me do. All right, so we got groups, right? So every day has its own group, every day of expenses. Inside we got the name, we got the divider here, and all of the expenses have their own row inside of the lists. And then we have another divider, and we have the total row, which sums up only that day's expenses. Okay. So what we need to do before we actually start, you know, building that list is, yeah, what's the current state of the app? We, if you remember, if you were watching in the previous stream, we messed up the room integration. I didn't actually like read anything about room and how to properly set it up. There was some KSP stuff that, yeah, I didn't understood. So yeah, we hit a wall. It was already late. We were tired, so we decided to stop. And in order to continue, I rolled back everything that I've done in terms of the KSP and room. Room is like the database that we're going to use. I rolled back everything and just started proceeding building the expenses screen. Right, so the add screen is okay, the category screen is okay, we got the swipe to delete here, which functions okay. Reports, of course, is blank. We still haven't started working on that, but now we are here in the expenses screen. And I'm just going to continue building the list that holds these, and this is going to be pretty much reused in the report screen later on. Same lists, same data, same type of rendering. It just has these things on top. So we got the list of all of the expenses here. We need to build a different type of data structure that's going to hold the day, okay, and a list of the expenses that are registered that day. So we need some kind of a utility method to do that. Yeah, why does it need an expense page and a reports page if it shows the same data? Good question. This was more like an overview of like a quick overview of what your weekly expenses are. And I believe it was a weekly expenses. That was like the default selection for the recurrence. But this one like gives you a bit more, a bit more detail into how the expenses happened. And also this screen has that swiping capability that allows you to jump from like a month to month or a week to week and see your expenses and like how they actually, how often and how much have you spent your money on. And yeah, that's about it. This is like more of an informative. And add the money under the chart and the total filtering in an icon button in the top. Yeah, I know. We'll have like a one less screen, etc. But yeah, I mean, we do have the total here, right? We do have the total here. I don't know. This is not like a, like an app that I really put a lot of thought into it in terms of like UX or stuff like that. I just wanted to like have this quick, overview here. I just wanted to see a big number. I couldn't fit that big number here, so I'm like, okay, let's create a more, a simpler screen without too much data. I only need the lists, I only need the total, and I only need the way to change the, recurrence or like weekly, etc. And this is always this, right? So this is your current, basically your current, state, right? For example, this week I've spent this much. You can't really navigate, so, and that's why this is the main screen. So if you wanted to like quickly open the app and see the, where you are in terms of your expenses, this is that landing page, as we call it in web design. But this is more of a, this is actually like a classic report screen where you can see in more detail how you spend, your like habits, etc. So that's the general idea behind it. All right, let's create a utility method that's going to take care of the grouping for us. I don't think I should do that in a view model. I'm not sure if we should do that in a view model. I mean, eventually when we implement a database and all these things, we probably are going to use a view model, but we need to be, we need to be careful not to put everything into one view model, because the list itself is being used into two different contexts. This is the expenses screen and this is the report screen. So that's the thing. We'll figure it out. Right now I just like want to build the I just want to build the UI, get some dummy data going, but actually nail the UI, try to make it as pixel perfect as we can. that means like, you know, creating a utility method for it. That's what we're going to do. All right, so this is a data class. Do we have extension methods in Kotlin? Extensions. Okay, prefix its name with a receiver type, which refers to the type being extended, like this. The following adds a swap function to the mutable list. Cool. So this is the expense, and we could extend the expense data class, or like a list of expenses, to actually do that. So I'm gonna do list of expense dot grouped by day, and then we can do just like index. In this case, the swap does that. So I'm not gonna be accepting any arguments for this, because we just need, this is the list, right? Group it by day. And now let's figure out what data structure we should use so we can like return it. Usually a dictionary will work, or like an object. Let's see. Collection. It's called collection. List or set or a map. Yes. Looks to me that we're gonna use a set probably. Or not. Maybe a map then. Yeah. So we're gonna use a map. Key value pairs, exactly. Where the key is going to be the day, the date, and the value is going to be a list of expenses that belong to that date. Or we can even like take it further by not directly putting the list of expenses as the value, but like providing a different data structure that holds the total and what else do we need? We need the total, we need the expenses, etc. Yeah, let's actually do that. But we are going to use a map because it's easier than to map. It's easier to map out all of the days and then render the, you know, we render a row for each of the expenses. Cool. So grouped by day is going to return a map where the key is going to be local date and the value is going to be something else. Let's create a data class called okay, so this yeah, day expenses. Okay, we're not gonna be holding the day because that's our key. We're going to be holding the expenses, which is going to be a list of expenses. We're going to be holding the total, which is going to be a double. And let's also add the day expenses here. That's what we're going to return. Cool. Let's keep this for now. Yeah, maybe we're gonna need like an average. No, these are daily expenses. These are not like weekly expenses. We're gonna calculate that afterwards. I think this is okay for now. All we need to do is create the empty map, loop through the lists. Yeah, push the expense in its own day. and then return the map, of course. So let's check it out. So we've got the data map. It's going to be a map from a local date and day expenses. And we are going to return immediately that data map. We don't need this. All right, so this is going to be a map of like an empty map. Okay. Now we want to, because this is an extension method. Is there like a this? Yeah, this refers to the list of expenses that we are calling the grouped by day method on. So we should do that. Okay, so this dots, we can do like a for each, yeah, where we can get the expense. And now we have the option to obtain the data, the date equals expense dot date, and that's the local date, right? If our data map for that date is null or it doesn't exist, we want to create it. So data map of that date equals a new day expenses. Let's see. This is a data class. The day expenses, we need to push the list of expenses, an empty list of expenses, and also the total, we'll just set it to 0. Now let's check this out. No set method providing array access. Mutable map. Okay, there we go. Cool. So this is going to be, we could return a map. I mean, we could work with a mutable map and return like an ordinary map, so it's like immutable. We'll see if that's a good idea later. Okay. So we have this expense right now. What we need to do is get the data map for that date. We need, okay, so that list needs to be a mutable list. A mutable list, right? Mutable list of for the empty, and now we need expenses dot add the expense. This must be safe because we have the if here, so it is going to create it, but okay. And also total, we need to add the expense dot amount to the actual total. Okay, so let's see, the total is a var dot qualified data amount dates, which is not allowed in a nullable receiver. No. All right, plus expense dot amount. I guess that's the idea. I'm not sure like why we're always getting these, but I guess it does make sense for this, right? Because you might not have it, but up to this point, if that was null, we would create that, so we can safely say that this is not going to be null. And because we immediately create a new mutable list and also a total, these should also be safe. But okay. So we got it. I think this is all there is to it. We're also going to need to create like a few more of these. A few more of these utility methods or like extension methods where we're going to get a day expenses. No, not really. we need to get this list basically, or just like, yeah, I'm gonna create a utility method on the local dates. So check this out. If it's today, it should not say like the 2nd of February. It should say today. If it's like yesterday, it shouldn't say the 1st of February. It should say yesterday. Otherwise, it should be the date, right? So I'm trying to do that. Aside from adding the expenses, I think it's also a good idea to sort them. Should we sort them? This is a local date, not a local date time. Yeah, let's not bother with sorting. We're gonna sort it later. We're gonna sort the groups because we have the date for them. Okay, so here we can say grouped expenses equals expenses group by day. So grouped expenses is the map that we're going to be using. Okay. And we need to sort these basically. So let's add a new function, a new extension, sorry. It's going to take this type and we'll just do sorts. Okay. And of course it's going to return the same type. So we're just like sorting that map. Okay. All right, so we got this. So we should do like a sort by, or well, in this case, we don't actually need. Yeah, we don't actually need to sort it. We can do that here. So it's ready. You know, we got the map. We got the data map here. So let's do data map dot sort to sort. All right, so there is a sorted map. If I return that, it's not going to complain. But how does it know? The resulting sorted map determines the equality and order of keys according to their natural sorting order. Exactly. So it's based on the keys. See that again? If natural sorting order of keys, consider any two keys of this map equal. And I believe because we're using the equality, oh, sorry, because we're using the local date type, there is already like an equality operator implemented. But I'm curious if there's like a, yeah, there is a comparator. Okay, so we can do that. We can actually do that. Let me see how we can do a comparator. Compare. Can we like do A and B and then return something? Both of these are, yeah. So we're gonna do A is bigger than B. Required int. Okay, if A is bigger than B, then return 1, otherwise -1. Sorry, Elvis. Oh, damn it. Okay, so there should be an if involved. Damn it. Let me expand this. Lambda argument should be moved out of parentheses. Return is not allowed because it's a lambda. Let me check it real quick. Kotlin to sorted map comparator. Let's see. Compare by. All right, so that's interesting. Compare by, and there you got the type, which is a string in this case, based on the length, and then by itself. And it, I guess it's the value. And this is, as you can see, ascending. So one, like it dot length is like 1, 2, 2, and 3. But then by the value itself, so C is always like 3. We got BC first before BD. BD is 4, BC is 2. So this is ascending. Yeah. But let's see if we can like make it descending, because I needed descending. Cool. Yeah, we can use a when. That's much clever. So when A is bigger than B, then we want to return 1. Else we want to return -1. There we go. Hopefully this is like in a descending order. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, no. We should do like a less, I believe. If A is less than B, then, you know, like return 1. So put A before B. Otherwise, the other way. And what is less when we're talking about dates? Less is in the past, or less is more towards the future? If we're talking about dates, then dates are being converted into like, you know, an integer, and a smaller integer means pasts. So we should actually do the other way around. So if A is bigger than B, hold on, let me just like bump up the font just a little bit so you can see better. There we go. Yeah, if A is greater than B, that means the A value is like in the future of B. I don't know what to say it, but yeah, this looks okay. So what we need to do now, because we already have this sorted, we can just render these. And before we do that, I'm going to create a preview where we have the UI mode tonight, composable, and then preview expenses. Just preview. Let's just like call it preview. We're gonna render the goodbye money theme. And then we'll render the expenses list, and we'll pass the mock expenses. There we go. All right, so let's check out our preview. It shouldn't render anything at all because we don't actually have anything. Let me just put a text so it knows. Oh, there we go. So I guess it is the... Have to import everything. All right, needs build. And build it. Yeah, I guess it is the comparator. this thing. So let's do to all right, so we got a local dates. I'm trying to get the milliseconds, which is like a number. Or wait a minute, what if we do compare to B? That's gonna return an integer. From earliest to latest. That's the thing. I returns the value if negative is less, positive is greater. Well, then I guess we don't actually need this. You know, we don't need a custom comparator. I guess we can like use this. Let's see. Alright, so there is an issue here. Temporal unit, yeah. So we got the temporal unit, but we're using chrono. That was the thing. We can't, like, I don't know how to get the create a temporal unit. Alright, so let's roll back and see. Kotlin, local dates. Subtract seconds. Chrono unit years. Well, I don't see the issue in this case. Unsupported unit seconds. No way. Oh, wait a minute, because it's date. It's date. It's not date time. All right, I got it. I got it. So the, where was it? Instead of seconds, we should say, let's do days. All right, so min is gonna be like 0. Max is going to be, I think, 3. So it's a different story now. It's either gonna be like the same day, or like 3, at most 3 days in the past. And now it still doesn't want to work. Let's see. Cannot create type for an unsupported classifier unit. Reflection is not available. What is this thing? Faker service. Okay. Get Australia. Let's see. We've got an issue with Australia. This is it. Let's see that again. Alright, cannot create type for an unsupported classifier. Let's Google it. Maybe Faker actually is like a testing library only. All right, so let's see. Kotlin Faker. during development and testing, as well as for data analyzation purposes. Under the user guide, getting started. Let's go back. Let's actually go back to the Gradle and actually do like a test implementation instead of an implementation. I'm not sure if we tried this in the previous stream, but I'm curious to see if it's going to work. There we go. If we reference this in like the one of the tests, it should work. What do we implement Faker? Oh, I don't know. It's like one more project to do. There we go. Yeah, we can import it into our unit test, but we can't really use it here. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Use Kotlin Faker outside of tests. Spice up your tests. I mean, cool, but we need something else then. This library doesn't actually work. Because if I bring it back as an implementation instead of a test implementation, this looks okay. But then this is the issue. Let's try to run it actually. Let's see if, running. Yeah, so I guess it's only the preview then. And that's not cool. So it's only the preview. Doesn't matter. We're here to finish the app, not fix the preview. Okay. So we got the grouped expenses. We can loop through all of the groups and render the expenses day or like a day expenses. Or how do we name this? This has the title of the day. There's like the separator, a row for each of the expenses, and then a separator or a divider, and then again the total at the end. Day expenses. That's already taken by our data class. How should we call these components? An expenses day group, I guess. And we're going to accept the date, which is going to be a local date, and the day expenses, which is going to be the day expenses. All right, so let's see, grouped expenses. We can do keys, so we'll get the set. Then we can do a for each. Should we do a for each? Not really. Let's see. Let's call the categories. We have a lazy column and the items here. Yeah, we're gonna use something like this so we can obtain the key and then we can, obtain the actual day expense. And we'll also have the key. So lazy column. Not gonna provide a content. Okay. Items. We don't actually need them indexed. we want to get the grouped expenses dot entries. No, not entries, keys. So what's up with this now? And we want to get the what's the key gonna be? So the key is going to be the actual date. Items indexed, and then we have the index, which we're not going to use, and the actual date. And then we can return the... We'll fix this, by the way. Expenses, they group. I'm going to pass the dates. And then for the day expenses, we can say grouped expenses for that date. And that's going to return us an optional. All right. Yeah. One more thing to... I guess it's the keys now. We can't really use the to array because it's deprecated. Or like a list of... From that set, there we go. Okay, cool. So the date is it's a set of local date. No. So not really list of. Let's see. Kotlin turn set into a list. Using copy constructor. Array list of set. Okay, well that's what we're going to array list of this set. Cool. All right, so the date is now an actual date and it has to be present. But the grouped expenses. All right, so we can do if, you know, if it exists, then we want to return that row. And we are damn sure that it's going to be existing. Okay, so there's like... Yeah, this is... Yeah. I'm used to TypeScript. So if I say it's different than null, TypeScript is not going to treat this as like an optional. Because within this context right here, if it's inside of this if, then of course, you know, we can safely say that it's never gonna be null. You know, it's not optional. There is a value. Or maybe I'm doing something else. Like maybe the optional value is not treating it as a null, or let's see, Kotlin, check if optional has value. Let's see. If present, a function of the value. Okay. If the value is not null, there's also is present. All right, so we can do... No, not really. What is present? It's an optional of string present. Should I be wrapping this like this? See, it's not. So the grouped expenses for this date was the type of value. It is an optional. That's an optional of the expenses. So if it's an optional, well, then this doesn't work then, or like, I don't know. Oh. Or else get. Nullable, okay. There we go. So if b is not equal to null, then we can use length, else -1. Not null assertion operator converts any value to a non-null type and throws an exception if the value is null. Well then, yeah, I guess we can just can return it like this and then keep the not null operator. Okay, so we are rendering an expenses day group for each of these, right? So we have the date, we have the expenses. We can start rendering I don't know, a column. The first element is going to be a text, which is going to get the date and convert it into that naming, you know, a naming convention. Today, yesterday, or whatever the format is. So let's create a new package called utils. And inside of the utilities, we'll create a new Kotlin date utils, a capital D, of course. So we can create a new local date extension method, print day, and we can say when the day this equals, or like it's the same day, let's say get this leap year, print day is after year, month, and maybe should we do that? Yesterday equals today minus days 1. Okay, so this is today, this is yesterday, and now we need to see if this is equal to today. We want to return today. If this is equal, and is equal is not gonna work if there is like a clock involved. Like what time? Yesterday. There we go. Else we want to return this and then like pretty print it. Let's see. Kotlin local date print format or formatter. We have a formatter, and how can we use this? All right, that's not formatting a date. day.format, and then we can pass the formatter. Okay, cool. Yeah. Format. Now we can pass date time formatter of pattern. Beautiful. And we can say date, month, or year. And I want to say, let's open Figma. Actually, I'm going to run this because I need to like scroll it down. Here we go. So we have the day in a 3-letter format, sun for Sunday. Then we have the day, the number of day, and then we have the month in a 3-month. But if it's not like this year, then we're going to involve a different format. So let's do this. If this dot year, okay, is like different than today's year, we want to return the same formatter, but it's going to include the year aside from the. Okay. Damn it. All right, let's see. Kotlin return when. There is a return when. All right, so return when this. All right, so let's see. Required a unit, found a string. All right, okay. So let's also remove this. There we go. Okay, so I just needed to like make sure that we're returning a string. Cool, and this should not. This shouldn't be like a print date, but format day, because we're basically formatting it. All right, so if the year is not the same, then we want to do, let's see, use capital D. It's going to print out the day, like Sunday, comma, and then we want the D for like a 11th. Then we want to do triple M for the month. Let's see. No, probably lowercase m. And also the year at the ends. Otherwise, it's gonna be the same. It's just going to not include the year. Okay, let's see this. So the text is going to be date format day. Let's see. Okay, nice. It crashed. Let's see what the crash is. Too many pattern letters M. Okay, so we don't really understand the. All right, let's see. Local date. Kotlin local date formats patterns. All right, I guess we need like a capital M for that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, totally not what I expected. Plus the order is messed up. So let's go back. First, let's fix the order because it's easier. So that 2-sorted map, we actually need it. We need to revert this. Okay, compared to. Let's see if A is, let's just do if A is bigger than B and let's see if that works. Otherwise we can like flip it and see. And nothing happens. No way. Kotlin local date get UTC milliseconds. Epoch day, but what does it return? Year and the month. And we have a total. Times per years. Wow, look at this. Oh, alright. Days to 1970, but this is like, alright, it's like days. Okay, I guess we can work with this. Because it's a number, and we can compare numbers easily. Not really. What is happening? All right, we will just gonna go Kotlin sorts list of dates descending. Damn it, sort by descending. Okay, cool. There already is. To sorted map, sort by, nice. This should actually, we got a sorted map. So sort map of dates descending. Compare by descending. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right, so let's fix the format because it is messed up. So I'm not sure if this should be like a, yeah, of course not. All right, let's check out the formats. Kotlin local date format pattern. We need the list of like what each letter means. There we go. It's the RFC datetime, but the year is okay. It's E. Okay, got it. E. There we go. Monday, Tuesday. 31st of January, and this looks like exactly how it should be. Cool. All right. We got it. So let's go back to this file right here. Let me just clean up all of this and actually provide the style now. So this label is the headline. I'm not sure we have the headline as a type. Oh, we actually have. We have the headline. Cool. Okay, so style equals typography headline, probably medium. 17. Okay. The color should be secondary. Label secondary. 8E, 8E, 93. No, that's not it. Where do we use this? This is the dollar sign. Label color, and this is a label color second. Oh, okay. It is that, turns out. So let's keep it label secondary. And this should be okay. Then we need the divider. There we go. And then we have the, basically, then we have the rows for each of these expenses. Then again, we have a different divider. We'll still, you know, style the divider. We'll put the map here. And then we have a row. There we go. Where the horizontal arrangement is space between. Because we're going to have two children inside. This is the total label and then the actual total value. Okay, so we have two texts. One is body, which is always total. So text total. And we need the style of typography dot body medium. And then we have another text, which is the headline text again, which is like USD. And then we have day expenses dot total. And the style is going to be typography headline medium, but we're also missing a color. So this is going to be the, again, same color, label secondary. So color equals label secondary. There we go, just so you can see it. Style is body medium for the total, label secondary color, and for the actual value is the headline medium and of course label secondary. And in here we need to put the actual rows. Okay, so that's probably going to be like a, I don't know, lazy column, where we have items lists, the count, I don't know, the expenses, the expenses, the key, the item content, or like, let's do an index. So here's the expenses. We want to get the index and the expense. And inside, that expense is just going to be there we go, an ordinary expense. Cool. Now we want to render the expense row. So I'm just going to create a new expense row composable. There we go. Expense row, expense. Cool. Let's also get the key. Expense. How did we define the key again? All right, so okay. We got the index, we got the expense, and we can return expense dot probably like a mix of the index dash expense dot date to, I don't know, to string. There we go. Or it's okay, toString is automatically being invoked if we just pass the date. Cool. Cool. All right, so there we have the items indexed. In here we have the actual expense. We're passing that expense to the expense row, and now we can actually zoom in one more level and actually implement this. So this is a column. We got the first row. In this case, like I actually implemented as like a row of two columns, but yeah, let's actually implement it as a column with 2 rows here. There's a column. We have a row. The first text is going to be the note, if it exists, if not, the category name. So we can do expense.note. Why is it as a... All right, so this might not always be present. There we go. Otherwise, we'll do expense.category.name. Cool. What's the style? It is the headline. Style equals typography headline. There we go. And now this is also like a headline, where we're just going to do expense.amount, but since we need a text, we can do USD and then pass the expense amount. Then we have another row. And first, we want to render the badge, the category badge, along with its color. And then we have this little time, but I'm not sure we'll have the time because we're actually using a local date, but not a local date time. Maybe that's something that we should refactor. Yeah. Yeah. Let's actually use a local date time. Do the thing here. Local date time, local date time. Actually, this is just going to be like a local date. All right, so we should be losing that time. Yeah, we should like convert the local date time to just local dates, lose the time, or like set it to 0, so we can, you know, work on this. Because the date is now a local date time. There we go, 2 local dates. Cool. All right, we got it. Now we have the, you know, we also have the time inside of our expenses, so we can calculate that. So we need the category badge here. Actually, you know what? Let's implement it immediately. So category badge. It's going to be a composable. It's going to be a function, and we're gonna create. We're gonna accept that category. So that category, I would say it's a surface. Inside it has a text. The text is going to be category.name, but the surface modifier equals, it has a padding to vertical 6 horizontal. It has 8 pixels of corner radius. I guess medium, let's see. Yeah. Oh, that's actually 8. All right, so we need a custom one. Large. I'm not sure we use large anywhere. Yeah. So let's just like make that 8 because I don't think we use 10 anywhere. So and we'll do large in this case. Cool. All right. So we need to also set the color. The color is going to be the category dot color, but we want to tone it down to 40%. want to do that dynamically. So let's see if can I do this? No. Kotlin color change alpha. Okay, we can do that. All right, so the ARGB, the alpha is from 0 to 225. So we need to scale that down, or like do 40% of 225, 102. So 102. And then we need to provide the red, green, and blue. So color dot reds of the category dot color. What's up with this? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we need. All right, there is already like a red thing. All right, cool. Category color red, category color blue, category color green, and switch the places. So all right, so let's. What's up with this? Float. All right, there's your float. But this returns an integer. Set alpha components. No? All right, we can do copy actually, where the alpha is 102. F. There we go. Okay, cool. So that is the background of the surface, but we also need to set the color. Category.color, but we're not gonna be doing the copy alpha in this case because we want the full capacity. And this is a footnote. Do we have that? Type. No, but it's a label medium because it's like 13 pixels. Style, typography, label medium. Cool. I guess that's it. So let's go and render the category badge. Expense category. There's the category, and the other side we have the clock. Like the actual time where the expense was where the expense was reported. That's a body. So we'll do a text. We can do expense date, and we just need a formatter. The datetime formatter is gonna be like H and M. Is this the? We just did that. Come on. Off pattern. Okay. So we don't actually need to wrap this. Could just do this. Cool. The style, we mentioned that it's gonna be a body. So typography dot body, and the color is label secondary. Cool. Okay, so we've got the category badge here, and then we have this. So let's also clean it up. So this column is going to be a fill max width, so it spans across the whole width. Okay, what's up with this now? That's weird. Because there's definitely fill max width involved. Alright, doesn't matter. 4, so let's continue here, and if we need to set the fill max width, we will. I think we need to, but so we've got this row first, and we need to add the modifier. Let's see, fill max width. There you go. This one is okay. Horizontal arrangement is gonna be the space between. That's it. Pretty much the same thing here, but this one is also gonna have a padding top. So padding top equals 4 dp. Imports everything. Cool. Let's see if that worked. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. The date is a local date time. Let's try it again. There we go. What happens? Let's run it again. Vertically scrollable component was measured with an infinity maximum height constraints, which is disallowed. One of the common reasons is nesting layouts like lazy column and column. If you want to add a header before the lists, please add a header as a separate item before the main items. Oh, got it, got it. So yeah, that is our expense day grid, because we have a column here and then we have another lazy column. Okay, totally understood. So we can convert this into a lazy column, right? But put these into an item like so. Let's see. All right, again, but let's see. Okay, so expenses day group. Let's go one level where we have the lazy and this is the expenses list. The expenses list is being used into the expenses screen, and the parent is a column that should probably also have a fill max. Should it be a fill max height? I don't think so, because it already is the content of the scaffold, so we shouldn't really worry about that. This expenses list actually needs to have like a weight to it. So we should create a modifier and add that modifier here. So we can do weight and we can pass 1. Let's see what happens. Nope, again. Have the same issue again. Infinity maximum height constraints, which is disallowed. Okay, I know. Compose view or add it into a linear layout with some. Don't do that. Let's see which component is messed up. Let's see. Maybe it's the expense row. It's actually not the expense row. So let's go and expenses by day. All right, so I guess it is here, and it doesn't. It's not, you know, the items index. We have a lazy column, and we actually have a lazy column. There we go. Yeah, that's probably the case. So the expenses day group shouldn't be a lazy column. Probably just a column. I'm not sure if that's like gonna be the solution. And these items okay, that's the actual case. You have a lazy column here. You know what? I think I'm going to convert this into an ordinary column. So let's just like loop through these keys and return. Let's see, Kotlin, render items. From list. For each, we can do a for each, I guess. Yeah, so we can do a for each. We can do a for each. This is going to be for each. Then we'll have the date as the key, and then we are going to render. Cool. All right, so we're rendering this not as like a, it's just an ordinary column. And because we already have, yeah, can do the same here. Expense row. Expense day group. Okay, so we have, this is like the top level. It's a column. We render a different column, which renders an expense row. The expense row basically is another column. Okay. For each, okay. Let's see. Nope. Okay, but it's the color now. Outside the range of sRGB. Whew. Oh. Okay, so there we go. It's like in percentage, it's not really. Got it? Got it. Let's go to the category badge, and instead of 102, 0.4. And let's see now. Yo, look at this. Look at this. Nice. But we have an issue with the padding. Of course, padding equals margin. I always forget that. Always forget that. But it looks good. It just doesn't scroll. It looks good, but it doesn't scroll. we gotta change that. And also, we need to fix the. In this case, it really is the padding between the the divider and all these things. But it's good. We are looking at some stuff. So I'm going to move the whole modifier to the actual text because we're talking about margin when we talk about padding. There you go. We also need to leave some space between the items, 12 pixels to be exact. So we have the badge here. I'm gonna grab a modifier. I'm gonna pass the modifier to the surface. And then actually not to the badge, what am I talking about? Hey Hogan, how's it going? Made it, just had a retro. Cool. Yo, check it out. Look what we got. I think it turned out pretty cool, honestly. Alright, so let's grab a modifier to the row and like put it on the column. So when we render all of these rows, we can do padding and we can like say top equals 12 density pixels. So when we restart this, the expense rows are gonna have a lot of enough space. There we go. See that? We were fantasizing over making an entire new code base for our app, which just passed 1.3 million lines of code. Hey, that's awesome, honestly. And also congratulations, that is a huge app. Yeah. Y'all are maintaining it correctly, I assume. Okay, so this needs to scroll. All right. The whole group needs to scrollable modifier. Scrollable. Oh damn! All right, we need to see correctly. Hence why we want a new code base. Yeah. Compose, make column scrollable. And I've already been here. All right, let's visit that again. Vertical scroll. Remember scroll state. Cool. Vertical scroll. Remember scroll states. Let's see if that fixes it. Actually, I shouldn't have put it. It does, but not here. Not here. I'm gonna move the vertical scroll, not on the group, but on the whole list, not just the group. And then we can like go back and here. I want to put it here. Wait and like paste the scrollable as well. Today, yesterday. All right, cool. 31st of January, nice. 30th of January. Yo, this is looking pretty good. But it's a weird expenses list because it looks like all I'm doing is just buying Australian animals. Okay, here's our lists. We have a group for every expense day. We also want to pass a modifier. Pass that here. Modifier equals a modifier. So in here we can do padding top equals, let's see, what is the 24? So each day has 24 pixels between the other. So let's do a reload. There we go, much better, much better. Now let's also take care of the divider. So all of the dividers, modifier, padding, vertical, how much is it? Like 10 for, there's a footer. All right, so this one has like a 16 top, 4 bottom. This one has a 10 top, 4 bottom. That doesn't look correct, but all right. So I'm gonna do, this one is the first, so top equals 10 density pixels, bottom equals 4 density pixels. Now let's also do this, but like the top one should have 16. And let's see what we get. Okay. All right, so this needs to like span all the way to the right, and that's this thing right here. So we can do modifier equals modifier, fill max width, reload. There we go. We also wanna format the numbers. So as you can see, it's like 0.0. If it's 0.00, it's pointless to append the 0.0. We can like round it, round to integer. Yeah, I mean, it's not always a good idea, but let's see. Should be a better way. Kotlin double, don't write 0.0. No 0. All right, so there's a format. Yeah, like if it's like 0.0, don't add decimal places. There's like just a round. No. There is no. String format. So we got the format first, and then we have the arguments. Okay. Avoid. Remove trailing zeros. Oh, so there we go. Probably this format should work. Let's see. No. Oh, it's actually the, all right. I've been changing it here, but that doesn't work as well. It's a decimal format. Then that's the format. So format.format. All right, it's a crazy thing. Let's see now. Do you want to remove them if there's zeros? Yeah, or like, I don't want to round them. I just want to remove these zeros. Cool. So yeah, the total doesn't also work. The expenses, we need to check that because it's always zero. Plus we got some stuff here. I'm going to try the same for the expense row. For the amount, there we go. So I want to render this instead, and then we'll see if we get like 0.0, 0.0, 0.0. I'm not sure we have, yeah, because this is like a random integer. Let's see, mock expenses. To be more correct, the amount should not actually be like an, yeah. So we can get it to double. All right, you know what? We can get it to double. We can then do plus faker random next double. And that's gonna like tilt it off the axis. So sometimes it should produce decimal points. There we go. Cool. So if we're talking about just $54, it's USD 54. No decimals or anything. But in this case, we're like USD 656.5, and that's what's important. So if we need to have a decimal, we will. If not, it's just like USD. Cool. All right, so let's figure out this because it's not really doing what we wanted to do. Plus, we're missing the USD before the zero, and that is this thing right here. Okay, and now let's see, day expenses.total. I'm gonna stop it and go to the expense.kt where we actually have the group here. Here's the total. I'd like to put a breakpoint here and actually see what's going on. Cool. All right. So the date is yesterday. All right. The expense is, let's see. The expense is a Barramundi animal that we purchased for $984 US. The amount, well, let's see data map. Let's see data map. It already exists. There's the day expenses. All right, so yeah, I got it. I'm setting the plus. I got it. I'm setting the plus, but I'm not actually returning it. I'm not actually assigning it. Like this. Yeah, this is so weird. We have to use this. We always need to, what's up with this? You always need to use this, and I don't understand why. It's not null. It's not null. You usually want to try and avoid. I know, but check this out. If there is no entry for this date in our map, you know, like create it. So the expenses is going to be, the list of expenses is gonna not be null, and then also the total is gonna be like 0, right? And why do I need to add the, you know, the, I don't know how to call this, like a double bang operator here? Because I'm always sure that it's data map of date is never gonna be null, because if it is, it's going to be created. So that's like why, that's like the weird thing here. Like after line 31, we're in both cases we're sure, yeah, in both cases we're sure that it's gonna be. And I was like talking about TypeScript before. Exactly, yeah. And I was like talking about TypeScript. For example, in TypeScript, this is not gonna be needed because after this line and like in this context right here, we're definitely sure that, you know, the data map entry is gonna exist for this date, so there's no need to. But yeah, I guess like Kotlin is not there yet, which is fine. I can do this. I'm not, you know, I'm fine with double, you know, these two. All right, let's see what we do. Okay, there's the actual value now for the total. It's not just 0. The time is always the same. Safer code or something. Yeah, maybe it's like on purpose. You're right. Maybe it is like on purpose. All right, so let's see. We got the local date time now minus days. I don't like that. So we'll go back to seconds. And we'll do the, what was like 300 to what? Let's go actually back. I don't want to lose this line, so I'm going to copy it. And let's go back to see when we were doing the 300 to 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. 300 to 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 zeros at the end. So let's see. The seconds, it didn't want to minus seconds, but now we have local date time. Previously we had just a local date, so there was no concept of, you know, hours and minutes and seconds, but now we do. So seconds should be fine, and it's gonna make the, you know, this label more diverse. In this case, it's like always the current time that, you know, I'm rendering the app. But let's see. All right, how about that? 5:11, 3:49, 7:50, 1:52 p.m., 1:09. Cool. That means we also want to sort. Cause check it out. We had 1 o'clock, like 1 and 9 minutes, but then we have 1 and 52 minutes. This should be here. Emu should be after Miri codes. All right, so let's see where we're actually sorting. And that should be grouped by date. So we got the date map, but they're day expenses. All right, yeah, I got it. We need, when we add the expenses, we need to sort the expenses as well. Yeah, it's a double sort. Whew, okay. That's just because it's, you know, like randomly added. When we're adding expenses, we don't actually, you know, render the clock. Maybe we should. We'll see. Now we have the ability. But we should double sort, or like sort. I'm not sure. Should we there's like two ways two types of sorting. Like one is like the ordinary, go through the list and sort it out. I'm not talking about algorithms, but the other one is like add the expense here and then sort it out, and always maintain that sorting to compare the sending. Yeah, but this is like on the whole data map, but I need to enter every entry of that data map and sort their expenses, you know. That's what I need to do. Loop again through the map and sort the expenses there. Yeah. Yeah, no, we can use the sorted by, but like, should I wait for this for each to finish and then go through the entries and sort their expenses, or like try to maintain it? You know, it's pretty much the same, you know. We'll have less iterations if we wait for this for each to finish and then like loop through the whole finished, like finalized data map and sort every expense. I think we're gonna have like less iterations if we do that. Because if we add it here, it's going to call the sorted by method every time we add, yeah, sorted afterwards, yeah. If we add it here, it's going to sort it every time we add an expense. So if we, you know, if we have like 10 expenses in one day, it's gonna sort it 10 times. And then multiplied by all of the days. So if they're like 30 days, it's 10 times multiplied by 30. That's a lot, 300, yeah. So let's sort them out here. We're going to do data map dot entries. It's a mutable set, cool. For each, I guess. Or we're talking about entries, so just the expenses. The expenses dot there's a date and but no entries. All right, it's a mutable set of all key value pairs. All right, got it. Not entries, values or values. If we do values, now we got the expenses. Cool. Now we have the expenses. Cool. Sort by. And we have the expense dot date. And sort by, is it mutating? It does return the end result, but is it mutating? Insert sorted. Like here? Yeah. Sort by is in place, sorted by. Okay, so sort by is in place. That means it's going to actually change the mutable list, right? So I don't need to do expenses equals expenses sort by. Cool. Cool. All right, let's see if we get this sorting right. 27, 31, 2, 33, 39, sorry, 3, 10, 11, 15, 16, okay. 1, 8, 17, 57, 23. All right, this is also correct. Yeah, looking good. We got it right. We got it, fellas. Okay. That's it then. I mean, the colors definitely questionable. Text, I think the let's see, category badge. I think we needed like the text to be a bit bigger. This is like label medium. No way. Let's see label large if we get anything. No. In that case, body medium. Too much body small. Somewhat better. Somewhat better. Okay. That's the category badge. Let's see. Expense row. This row, it has like a 4. I'm gonna bump it up by 8. Or 6. Something in the middle. Yeah. Now, it's definitely not pixel perfect because the font itself is different. I guess this is Roboto. And this one is San Francisco SF Pro text. It's like the native one for the system font for iOS applications. That's why we can see the, you know, this. Yeah, that's why we can see that slight change. The contrast, yeah, I mean, between the label and its background. You mean like the 40% yellow and the actual yellow? We can work with that. Right now it's like in 40. Maybe we can like do 25. So it's gonna be more subtle. The only one I'm having is the blue on the blue. That is terrible, I know. I'm not sure how we can handle that, because I'm also like, let's see, mock expenses. Where's the category? Oh, there we go. You see that? Ooh. All right, so that's not gonna work. Faker, random color, no. Let's see. See if we can. Kotlin Faker random color. Faker JS, not that. Provider's color. Let's see. Color. Name. Unique. What is the unique? It's a color, but what kind of color? I think there's like a type mismatch now. There we go. So we're looking. Okay, I got it. So this one returns like a color, but we need to copy that color somehow. It has its own. Yeah, it has its own color type. Provider color. Let's see. Name. Can we create it from the hash codes? Kotlin color from hash code. I guess not. I mean, hex is different. This is hash code. And we got faker color unique. And then what do we do with this? Nothing. And we can like chain these until the end of time. To string? No. Let's see. Kotlin faker. Let's open the doc sites. API. Color. We're generating unique values. There's a name, but like it's all, yeah, it always returns a name, I guess. YAML category color. Honestly, I have no idea. It's not really a color, so I guess what we can do is like color.rgb. Hue, saturation, or lightness. Hold on, I need to remove the color, this color, and actually try to do like an RGB. Wrong color, so let's see. Compose UI graphics color. Okay. Let's go to the categories screen and see what kind of color we're actually. View model. We have a color here, and that color is of type UI graphics color. And when we want to render the category row, we have the, where is it? Actions box. There's the table row. There's the surface, and that color requires. Damn it! All right. This is the UI graphics color. Okay, so we need to keep that. So we can't really create these from the Android graphics. It's like an RGB. From the Compose UI graphics, that's what we need. But let's see. We can actually do that, yeah? We can actually, all right, so we can do faker, random, next, int, from 0 to 255. And we need to do that 3 times. So this is a truly random color. All right, let's see. All right. The only issue is when we define a hobby category, it should stay the same color. Okay, there we go. You see that? So I'm like recreating. Okay, so list off. Yeah, this is the issue here. List off. List off. All right, I already got the list off. There we go. Mock categories, place it here. Change the ratio depending on that. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, the idea is to let the user, at the end of the day, like let the user, you know, do the thing. Man, these colors are whack. Don't look good, but they're like random, so can't complain. I got it, for example, like check this out. Like this is also a super bad ratio, right? But the idea is that we use the main color for the text and the, you know, the same color, but like with opacity, with lower alpha value for the actual backgrounds. So that's the issue. As a user, like adding a color, you know, if you add this color, what do I do? You know, like it's on you. So I guess most of the time, or we can like remove the alpha slider. So the users will have to pick not alpha, but like lightness. Yeah, let's actually do that. Let's actually do that. We're going to remove here categories in order to make sure that only bright colors are being used. I mean, the combination with this blue is terrible for the eyes. Like this, put this blue on dark background like it kind of is right now, and it's not good. But just don't pick that one. You can pick any of these, but we should not be, you know, we shouldn't allow for the users to move the lightness. So let's actually go and handle that. There's dialog, surface, okay. Alpha tile. We have the color picker, and then we have the brightness slider. You shouldn't exist. Let's see. All right, let's reload the app. But yeah, brightness always on like full. That way we can prevent. There we go. So now you can't really select a dark color that's gonna mess up the ratio with the, you know, the background. These are all the brightest of colors, right? You can't go wrong with this. So you can't really pick something like this. It's never gonna happen. Can't even do gray. Yeah. These mocked ones, I don't care about them because we're gonna replace them eventually, right? But UI wise, this is fully implemented. Cool. So now we have like this week, this month, this year. It's still not hooked up. It's just like UI. But yeah, we got it done. We got it working. Then we'll like replace it with actual data when we implement the database. Cool. But yeah, let's commit everything that we have. So let's see. UI done in expenses screen. We do have like a mock data and all these things. I'm just gonna like UI done in expense screen. Commit. Thanks, John. Boom. All right, it's there. I wanted to ask you this before the stream ends. Have you heard of pen pods? What are your thoughts? No? What is that? What is pen pods? I know pen and pods. No way, really? An open source Figma. Would you look at that? Components, cool. Okay, okay. You know what? We can actually play with this at a certain point in future. Mozilla use penpot, cool. Cisco, nice. Why do they say self-hosts? What do I need to host? Is that like the database of all of my designs? Like the backend of Figma? But you download the client and you just point that to your server. Is that the... Oh, it's only a web app. There isn't a native app yet. Okay. So that means, sign up, it's free. Cool. Design, prototype, collaborate, dev tools, resources. Font management, flex layout. Cool. Flex layout, beautiful. Components, super important. Prototyping, important as well. Multiplayer, comments, share presentation, DevTools, code inspector, cool. Properties inspector, and distances and measurements, also super important. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Okay, we got the assets where we can drop all of our components and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. The most important thing, for example, right now is if I want to do something and also if this can like import Figma files and convert them to penpot files, that's going to be a game changer. But right now, if I want to do something real quick and invite, I don't know, for example, my wife into my Figma files, and like, or like vice versa, she can invite me to her, design so I can check out something. We can't really do that, because Figma decided to, to cut outside designers even on draft files. So you have to pay. And we don't want to pay, These are like projects that's, me or my wife are actually doing it for the sake of it, like because it's fun. So this could be interesting. If I can like import, like if I can quickly import a Figma file and like invite anyone to it, do the collaboration and everything, get their feedback and then continue working in Figma, that would make sense. Although the collaboration in that case can like happen on a different. Nice. This is actually like even because it's open source, it's even interesting to, to like see what they're working on and like try to, I don't know, try to contribute. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. I'm gonna take a better look at this. Thanks for sharing it, man. Appreciate it. All right, we got everything. Did we push? Yeah. Go to site. Closure script. I don't. So that's it. I give up. All right, we have updated everything. And yeah, all done. I guess we can like take a break now. Did I have like, I hope I didn't have any. All right, I have a meeting in like 40 minutes, but cool. Yeah, I think today was productive. We got the expenses screen UI done. I didn't test it out in different orientations, like left or right in landscape, because I don't think this app is gonna work in a landscape mode, but I haven't like envisioned how the layout would flow or like how it would look like in a landscape orientation. And I don't think we're going to like worry about that, because we have at most three streams left, so that's like 6 hours. We have only 6 hours left to work on this app, and we need to finish the report screen, charts, right? We need to implement a database, whether if it's like room or realm, I don't know, we'll see. And like install and set up Sentry so we can look at like performances, we can catch bugs, etc. 3 streams, 3 different 3 different tasks to do, and they're like pretty big ones. So if we finish the report screen on Tuesday, we can work on the database implementation on Wednesday, and then we can work on Sentry on Thursday next week. These are all next week. Then we can we have the chance to wrap it up. But if we hit a wall, most likely we're not gonna be able to finish the app. So this is really tight. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Have a great weekend ahead, and I'll see you all next Tuesday. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.